Hello and welcome to Reel from St. Mary Parish High School in Westfield, where students here are settling into the routine for the new academic year. The parish school here first opened its doors in 1898. Well, this year they welcome a new principal. Matt Collins has been on the job now for a few months, and as the school year gets underway, he says the work to keep the school open is picking up steam. Kathy Harrington introduces us now to the man who was destined to be principal.
Probably about a half a dozen times in our marriage over 20 years, I've woken up to my wife and said, I had that dream again, that I'm the principal at St. Mary's.
Matt Collins' vision of the night was unfulfilled for years.
When this came up and I looked at her, I said, I think I need to apply. And she said, you do need to apply. You've had this dream over these years that you were in charge, you were the principal down there. So go ahead and apply, we'll figure it out.
Leaving a public education job took a lot of soul-searching for this father of five. But Collins is a St. Mary's graduate who learned firsthand the value of a Catholic education.
Faith is it's a big part of my life. You know, I came here in kindergarten. I was in the first kindergarten class, spent a few years here, left and went to public school, came back for high school.
Believing that education based in faith frames a child's view of the world, Collins, his wife Lynn, a teacher at St. Mary's Elementary School, and his children can be found around the campus.
Our oldest son just graduated 2 years ago. He now is at Emmanuel College, so he's also he continued his education at a Catholic university. And our son Brady is starting here as a freshman, and then we have a 6th grader and a 1st grader in the schools.
Last spring, Collins was a leading parental voice in the effort to keep St. Mary's High School open. Now the principal, he bears the responsibility of increasing enrollment, but he's not alone in carrying that cross.
We've had a lot of support from the diocese, a lot of support, especially from the new superintendent. He's been out here 3 times already.
In addition to support from Dr. Daniel Berlargen, new pastor Father Matthew Alcombright brings a unique perspective to the mission.
He's excited, young, fresh energy into the church and into the school. He was formerly a teacher, so he understands education, and which is great, you know, and he's coming from that background. He taught at Northampton High School.
St. Mary's is a parish school, and the backing of the parishioners is essential, according to Collins.
The parish loves the school. There's a lot of people that are supportive and want to see this work and see this succeed, and are willing to do some volunteer work and some volunteer hours. We have parents with expertise that are just incredible. We have parents that work in marketing. We have parents that work in radio. We have parents that are strategic planners for public education. So tapping into our parish and our parish resources has been invaluable at this point.
Collins also says the school has found allies in many corners.
I'd have to say thank you to the city of Westfield, because they came out and they really supported the cause of making sure that St. Mary's stays in the community. It's a staple in this town, you know, and a lot of influential people in Westfield came to St. Mary's or have family members that did, and we had the backing of the mayor and the backing of the city council.
Even with all that support, Collins says there is one thing he needs even more to build enrollment in the school.
The biggest tool I need, honestly, is not a tool, it's time. It doesn't happen overnight, and I feel that if we can put together a really strong, 5-year strategic plan. I've already spoken to the superintendent about this. To put it down, do a strategic plan, show a 5-year plan out of where we are now, where we want to be. I feel confident that the bishop will say, okay, you guys have a good plan. It looks very feasible, and will support us.
Among the necessary changes at the school this year is the framework for financial assistance available if the cost of the Catholic high school tuition is an issue.
We have a new St. Mary's financial aid program that's been set up with a good amount of money in that program. So now financial aid that's handed out to students will be funded financial aid, not just we're going to give you a discount.
In addition to money from the annual Foundation of Education grants, the Westfield Academy awarded a tuition grant for city residents. Fundraisers, including the annual auction and golf tournament, and a portion of the one-time grant from Bishop Rosansky, went into the financial aid pool.
If they need financial assistance, they would apply to the FACS financial aid system first. And with that, you have to be Catholic in order to get the financial assistance through the diocese. And although if you're not Catholic, we still have people apply for that, because that's one avenue that we use as we're determining the financial aid through St. Mary's financial aid program.
Following a review and recommendations from a committee of 3, assistance is awarded. This year, more than 24 scholarships were distributed.
So welcome to U.S. History 2.
Colin says the school is a place where everyone knows your name. He points to the low student-to-teacher ratio for the reason that students don't fall through the cracks. Colin says St. Mary's fosters the environment that students know they will have everything they need to succeed. Success includes sports and the historic 2017 St. Mary's Baseball State Division IV Championship title. The St. Mary's campus includes pre-K, the elementary and middle school, and the high school. Colin says all faculty work to create relationships so that the social media, exclusion, and bullying issues present elsewhere won't develop there.
In this type of environment, the support of the parents, the involvement of the parents, and the values that people are learning foster an environment that I would say is a very safe school environment.
As the school year begins, Collins has a message of faith for St. Mary's parents and parents who want to send their children to the high school.
I worked in the public schools for a long time, and I taught special ed for many years, and then I spent 6 years as an assistant principal in 2 different districts. I walked away from that to come here because that's how much I believe in St. Mary's. And we can make this work. We just need the students. So my message would be, I guess, trust us.
For Reel to Reel, I'm Kathy Harrington.